All right, that was Death Note episode 6. I'm so like tense. I want to just like keep watching the rest of the series as like a movie there.
That fiance of the detective, I don't know if her name was real.
Shoko Maki.
I have a feeling that's a fake name.
Me too.
Because I just feel like she's such a good character to add into the mix, to be another person that Light can't kill, like L, like another person that's against him that he can't necessarily quickly get rid of and needs to find more information about. I feel like she's such a good, like, she's driven by, obviously, Ray's death.
Yeah.
But her deductive, like, skills, you know, like, she deduced so much from that. Like, if she interviewed anyone on that bus, if she got to the girl that he went on a date with,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Whose ID it was, or who he showed the ID to. She would know. And I'm like, and then giving her blue hair at the end, with like
so good. Light
being red, just like the intro with like L is blue and he's red.
This is the first time I've like felt like such a real threat to Light right in front of him. I don't think that Light's gonna lose to her, not to undermine her, of course, but like this is like the first like big stepping stone and a hurdle that Light's gonna have to face, because if this is not her name, if Shoko Maki is not her name, there's gonna be a big issue for Light.
Nothing he said was a lie. He said to her, your testimony could get Kira caught.
Yeah.
Like, I think he fully believes, like, he's probably obviously really impressed, but also really angered by this. He even said, like, right before this whole interaction, he said that even one small little mess up on his end could get him caught. And that one small mess up was having what happened happen in such a small group of people as a bus.
Yeah.
A bus is maybe, well, how many people did they show? Like, there was an old couple, he was on a date, and there was maybe like 5 other people possibly on the bus. That's not a lot of people for the FBI and the police to have to interview to figure out who the girl on the date was and ask her, hey, did you see this guy's ID? Like, he messed up there.
Yeah.
I guess he should have done it more public.
Okay. I don't know if I'm willing to say he messed up, because even though we know Shoko Maki, quotes, has the right idea, and she's right, and Light is saying, oh, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Even though that's the case, she is gut feeling every single thing in this case. There's not much like...
Maybe that's why she had to stop being an agent.
Yeah.
She was like way too driven on her emotions and not like fully factual evidence, like hardcore evidence you have in your hand kind of thing.
When you said did Ray tell his fiance Light's name, I had such like a Mandela effect moment, because for a minute I was like, oh yeah, that totally happened.
I couldn't, like, it literally felt so real that he had.
Yeah. That
I couldn't remember if he had or had not.
Yeah.
Because it felt like a real thing that would have happened, especially like they're a couple, you know, like obviously he's on an undercover case, but I feel like that's not always like super strict when you're in a romantic relationship, or like he really trusts her. It
makes sense though, because you saw how Ray reacted when she kind of went down the rabbit hole with her ideas for the case.
Yeah, it does make sense. She had to have given a fake name, because I think that it is way too compelling.
Why would she
have her as another obstacle
Agreed.
For Light? You know, that's way too good of like another element to add to the show. And it definitely had to be a fake name. I mean, like, why? She was an agent once upon a time.
She has the intelligence. Does she? I don't know if we've heard her speak he needs to know, Kira needs to know a face and a name to kill them. I don't know if she knows that completely, but if she does have that information, then I have no doubt in my mind that she would come up with a fake name. But if she doesn't, she would have no reason to come up with a fake name.
See, I disagree on that, because what I was thinking was, if you were an undercover agent for years, you wouldn't just give obviously she said that Ray should not have given his name. He was on a case. But if that's been your mentality for so many years, where you can't really trust anyone, she wasn't going to give her real name to some kid that said it was his dad, and like she's gonna give her real name to the police.
I get you.
But like she doesn't probably feel like she owes it to Light, and or that it will do her any good to give her real name to Light as a former agent.
There's no way that Ryuzaki is L's real name, right?
No, I'm kind of curious why he said that he had to change his name just to like protect himself a little more, I guess. But like, why? Is L too close to his real name?
So if he gave out, I'm trying to see how this could benefit L. If he gave out a fake name, and then he then Light somehow figures out his fake name, he would still need to know his face, and then that would... I'm trying to see if like that could benefit him narrowing it down to what?
Or it could help make Light think that L isn't involved anymore, because whenever he sees the name written, or if he hears his dad talk about it, it's a different guy, and he's gonna spend all of his time searching for Ryuzaki.
Yeah. And then the only person, to go off that, the only person who then would be searching for L is Shoko Maki, because she learned the name L at the police station and was like, L, and like remarked about it. So I could imagine a situation where maybe Light goes down a different road for this Ryuzaki, or maybe connects, maybe that's L's real name, if it is or isn't, and then Maki tries to find L and they try to like team up or something.
Yeah, because I don't think L would suspect someone who's still calling him L, because he knows there's a leak. He knows.
Yeah.
So he knows that as soon as he knows that if someone stops going after this L person and starts going after someone named Ryuzaki, the leak is in the room. The leak is in the room.
And agreed. And so if even if Ryuzaki was his real name, assuming that he has two names, like most people do, you need both names for the Death Note, correct? Mm-hmm. So even if one of those police officers was Kira, they could not have killed L, correct?
Correct, because no one, except possibly Watari, knows L's full name.
Dude, I loved seeing L. Like, it wasn't what I expected it to be, but I loved it so much. I loved his, like, body language and, like, his, like, sugar putting into the tea or coffee.
He's, like, so willing to admit that he is very similar to Light.
Yes.
He is not above Light in any way. Like, he didn't say anything where I'm superior other than I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
It was almost like this, like he was acknowledging that Light is a tough foe and that they have similar thinking. And
I love that.
It's almost like the game becomes even more fun because you're playing with an equal. I feel like sometimes, I mean, obviously he's done tons of investigations that he easily, solved. Mm-hmm. But maybe, like, he's, like, getting a kick out of it. He's enjoying this just like Ryuk is, because it's the first person to really be a challenge for him.
Hates losing.
And he hates losing.
I love seeing L, like, look in himself to try to solve the case. I think that that's such a cool, like, character trait for a character to have. As well as I like how Light, when he is putting up a front or quote-unquote lying, everything that he's saying is completely based in reality, which is like people say that's how you tell good lies, right?
He's a good liar.
You go off of something. So it's so interesting. Gosh.
The only way that they could trip each other up right now, which I don't know if they've necessarily figured out or Light hasn't figured out, because obviously L has acknowledged that they think similarly, and Light has just basically said he thinks he can, like, get a step ahead, is once one of them starts to act in a way that is totally unlike how they think, then things could get foggier.
Yeah. Do you think that Light's dad is going to share the information with his family that he met with Ryuzaki?
I have a feeling, well, they did say that the FBI investigation was, like, super, super under wraps, but it just would feel really weird to me that L wouldn't know or wouldn't tell the new police force who was actually being investigated during those days. But then again...
They have that information, right?
do they know, or is it just Elle and the FBI that knew who was actually getting investigated? Because it was the people's family members, you know? So maybe they wouldn't want to tell them, hey, yeah, your son was one of the people being investigated during those couple days. Because I feel like Light's dad would be super... Either he's going to be super protective, like, how dare you even suggest it could be my son, or he's going to start getting really suspicious.
I could see both. I could see him, like, being
Doing
defensive,
both.
but then, like, putting out feelers when at home.
Yeah. But it didn't seem like they gave each other or talked about that information. Because it didn't really seem like any of them reacted much to the time that Elle narrowed down, other than, wow, you narrowed down that time.
Yeah.
But none of them reacted in, like... If Light's dad knew at the time that Light was investigated during that time, it would have shown a shot of him being like, or like an inner thoughts of, oh, Light was investigated during that time, you know? But they didn't really give us that. I really thought, and I was feeling like his dad was going to think something, or there was going to be some suspicion already shown. And maybe there was a hint of it, and I didn't catch the hint, but...
You know how they said, or... Elle offered up the situation, or rather, we get the U.S. to say that they're supplying these troops and 16 or 12,000 or whatever people, or 15,000 people are going to be investigating.
No,
would that, excuse me?
1,500.
Would that mean that the U.S. government has to comply with this? Because they pulled out last episode. So if they, like, if Elle and the police force went forward with this story, then would the U.S. come out publicly and be like, this isn't true? Or...
I feel like they would, to do this, they would need to contact them and be like, this...
Agreed.
But then again, then there's a trail of the plan. So maybe they're going to keep the broadcasts to only in Japan that they do it, so that if it does come to the U.S.'s attention, they'll contact the police straight and they won't come out with a public statement first. I'm sure they wouldn't just immediately come out with something without being like, hey, why'd you guys do this?
Yeah.
We're checking with you first if this is like a plan of yours. But they're obviously just going to broadcast it like in Kanto or something, because they already have narrowed him down to being like around that area.
Yeah.
How many people are in that region that they have to be wary of?
I'm not sure. What do you think of the possibility, like, do you think Elle's considered, oh, what if Light's fled, like, after that happened, and it's just still, like, using his resources to kill people in the area, but, like, went somewhere else? I don't know. Elle's probably considered everything.
Elle thinks that Light's working alone, and I feel like if Light lived somewhere else, he'd have to be using someone else as a middleman to get all the news and all the names and everything, if they're only being broadcast, like, in a small vicinity.
I wonder what the next step's going to be for Elle and the team.
And the fiance, Maki. Fake name lady.
I hope, because I really like her as a character. I would like her to stick around.
I just think she's a great addition to... Because she is utilized in this show as showing us more of Light's mental capabilities, you know? And so I think that she is an awesome addition to keep showing us just how, like, smart Light is, or just how much he's thinking a step ahead of people, and how he's also so able to lie with so much truth and be so convincing about it.
Like, I'm so caught up in Light's, like, I guess, like, agenda here and, like, his story that I'm trying, even though it's not morally right, I'm, like, trying to look out for him, too. He stopped walking when he heard Shoko Maki, like, announce what she did and, like, reveal to him that. And I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Don't do that. That's suspicious.
Yeah, keep walking. You're like, that was, I think, one of the first times we've seen him. Well, that was one of the first times we've seen him, like, physically lie, like, being this tense and lying to somebody other than his family, like, in the show, like, in person, you know?
Definitely the first time he was ever really felt like someone was catching up to him.
Yeah.
Like, this was probably the first time, like, Elle, like, made him feel some forms of anger. I wouldn't say anxiety, but some form of, like, oh, someone's on my tail, I gotta keep running. But, like, I think this was the first time he ever was, like, one wrong step right in this moment, and she knows it's me, like, kind of thing. So, or, like, if I doubt he's thought about if she gave him a fake name.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think Light, he's incredibly smart and intelligent, but he's also a little bit cocky or confident. He backs everything up, so I guess he's not too cocky.
He obviously... So, I would say he's definitely cocky in his ability to lie and make people like him, because he's already said to Ryuk that he is a person that many people at school like, and he has a lot of friends, and he showed that by easily just calling up a girl and being like, hey, we're going on a date today, and she was like, woo, okay.
Ryuk was like, who is this guy smiling? Like, I love Ryuk.
So, like, I feel like to him, probably feels like he put on a very convincing show.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think about, one last thing, this is a very long discussion, we're just like so into this. What do you think about L's theory that if they, I don't even know how to say this. You know how he said that Light or Kira would start attacking petty criminals once they got rid of the names of the bigger? I was like feeling like he was going to say that. And then I was like, but what?
Would he do that?
Would he actually?
I think so. Yeah. Ends justify the means, right?
He's still getting rid of people that have done bad things.
And he's still playing the game against Elle and the police at that point. Yeah. Like, I think he totally would.
And, Elle did say, well, he's proven that he'll kill innocent people because he killed innocent until proven guilty people. But, like, I feel like to Light, those people are still criminals. I don't know if he thought of them as innocent, but might have committed a crime.
I mean, he killed somebody who he thought was in some sort of vein, like a policeman or some higher up who has, like Elle, when he killed Lindell Taylor. He is definitely willing to kill somebody who's not even a criminal for his sake of justice. He would definitely kill petty criminals.
Yeah, but my thought was, those are people in his way. So maybe he would kill someone that's not in his way, that's a petty criminal. But, like, I guess at the moment, my feelers for him, for who he's, like, willing to kill, is more just, like, people in his way that could get him caught, or people that he thinks deserve to die. And I don't know if he would necessarily say that a criminal or a supposed one that hasn't actually been proven to have actually done anything wrong deserves to die. But he did use them for experiments, which is really messed up, because he could have basically used people that were just your run-of-the-mill normal person accused of a crime, but didn't actually do it as an experiment. And that's really messed up.
Yeah.
But I just love that they're both, like, trying to figure out what the other person is thinking by using themselves as an example.
Yeah.
In another life, they could be friends. If their idea of justice was the same, they'd be an unstoppable team.
I really like the character designs for Light and Elle. Like, of course, individually, but they go really well together to, like, intellectually, like, the battle that they're having. I think the voice actors do a really good job both, too. You can see so many similarities in both of them, and on every single level, whether it's voice acting, whether it's character design, whether it's, and I really appreciate it, because it is more tense to build that harsh contrast when it comes down to the, like, specificities and details of their differences,
And there's also contrast in who would you think is the evil doer by looking at them or reading their biography or something.
Or body language. I think it's very... I think if you put Light and Elle right next to each other in a room and ask somebody to say who's the evil one...
Who's Kira?
When you have Light smiling at the camera...
And just looking like a normal
straight
honor
A student
looking
and then
guy.
You see Elle, who's, like, curled up in a ball drinking sugar-filled coffee or tea.
Yeah, but we've seen way too many, like, serial killer things to know that it's the person smiling and that doesn't appear to be the killer. That's the person to worry about.
It's the person you most medium suspect.
Yeah, the most medium, I totally agree with you.
Man, okay, I love the show. All right.
I love the show too.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
The only way that they could trip each other up right now The only way that they could trip each other up right now.
The only way that they could trip each other up right now